politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty.
Good morning, Bellows Falls and Keene, and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. We're here today with Leslie Lassiter. We're going to be talking about Tai Chi, and
That was a good
Tai Chi.
Tai Chi raise. You should have taught us that before we entered the show. Take
And
two. Boom.
Yes, we're back. We're glad to be back. We're here almost in the middle of winter. We are almost halfway through. It's been the longest winter since I don't know when.
This has been a winter.
Yes, but first, Marty with local events.
So I think because this has been a winter, there's not a lot of local events. At the Bellows Falls Opera House, I'm not sure what the movie is because it's not
Nope.
posted yet, but I'm sure there will be one.
Check out the website.
Check out the website. The classic movie, however, is Downhill Racer. It's a movie with Robert Redford and Gene Hackman. It's based on the true life story of a U.S. racer going into, I believe, the Olympics.
Yeah.
David Chapelet. I would assume that's how you pronounce it. I don't think it's Chapelet. It's sponsored by Coda and Coda. And watching the trailer was really interesting because it's a very young Robert Redford and a very young Gene Hackman. So should be an interesting. And we do have the Winter Olympics coming up.
That's right,
so it
next
seems
week.
very apropos. If you haven't had to go into the town hall for any reason during the day, I might suggest you pop in and just take a peek at the set that's being built for Cabaret. So Wild Goose Players is bringing back Cabaret. They were set to do Cabaret back in 2020, and they had to shut it down. It was like it was opening the week of the shutdown.
Yeah.
They tried to hold on and were hoping they could would only be a couple months and they could reopen. Anyway, long story. We're here a few years later. The set's being rebuilt. The costumes have maybe come out of storage. I don't know. And the cast is going to be ready to go April 3rd through the 12th. So the first weekend of April. And the second weekend of April, tickets are available now online at the Bellows Falls Opera House. There's a variety of price points for tickets, and I would strongly suggest getting your tickets early because I have a feeling that because I think this has been long awaited because people were excited to see it in 2020. So I think it's going to be probably a show that's probably going to sell out. So
I would imagine it will.
get your tickets early.
So, Leslie, welcome back.
Hello,
It's good to see you again.
glad to be here.
So, you're starting up your Tai Chi again, or you've started, actually. Is that right?
Well, what happens is every so often we start a new class. And so on January 20th, I've started a new Tuesday class at 10:30 for beginners. And the time frame, you've got till February 17 to join the class because we learn a certain set of moves. I think we're going to see the form. And we'll see what the moves are. But in Tai Chi, the supreme ultimate, which is a type of Qigong, which is an energy practice. And in Tai Chi, there's something called the form, which is a set of movements. There's something called Yang 24, and you learn 24 different movements. You learn this movement, and you learn this movement, and they go in a certain order. And when you learn one, then you can move on to the next. So we will, at some point today, get to watch the form. But it's important that if people want to join, they come in by February 17th at the latest, because you're learning this move, followed by this move, followed by this move. The way a class goes is there's always a Qigong warm-up. So 10, 20 minutes of doing things that get your body ready and moving, and then we work on the form. We do drills for the form. We learn certain moves. After a month, after 2 months, we might be 20% through the form or a little further. And we'll see the form when we're ready to take a look at it.
And it's because Tai Chi is a practice, right? It's a lifelong.
Tai Chi has been called meditation and motion. So it's a moving meditation. There's a lot of mindfulness about it. It goes very slow, and Western exercise, in Western exercise, you might do jumping jacks, you might do crunches, you might do whatever, and your muscles are moving and your body is moving. But in Tai Chi, Japanese would be Ki as in Reiki, Chi would be Chinese. If we lived in India, the word for Chi would be prana. And what happens when you're doing Tai Chi is you are moving your body, but you're also moving energy, and it's called Chi. And there's meridians in your body. People who have done acupuncture or whatever, those meridians are like rivers of energy, and your organs are like seas or oceans of energy. So when we're moving energy along those meridians. And I'm not saying, oh, this is your liver meridian and this one's your whatever. But I haven't memorized the meridians yet. Someday that's going to happen. But I do know certain moves. That's good for your gallbladder. This one's good for your kidney. So.
Do we want to watch the video, and then so people can get an idea of what we're talking about? So let's. Okay.
What we're
go
going to
ahead.
watch is called the form. Here's my air quotes.
Yeah.
It's a Yang 24 form because the Tai Chi that I teach is in Yang style, and you'll see 24 different moves. I will talk some, but I'll try and not do this chatter, 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 chatter. I'll just name what the moves are.
That sounds like a good idea.
And then when we're done, I can say more. And the other thing I want to say, because I don't want to forget it, is up through February 17th, that's when you can join this beginner Tai Chi class. There's also a seated Tai Chi class. I can talk about that more afterwards. But if someone cannot stand for an hour, they have a new hip, they have, these physical issues, whatever. If you cannot stand for an hour, then there is seated Tai Chi.
And are you teaching those simultaneously, or?
10:30 a.m. on Tuesdays is the beginner Tai Chi regular. You can stand for an hour. Seated Tai Chi is 12:15 on Tuesdays.
Okay.
And unlike the regular Tai Chi, the seated, you can join at any time.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that,
because there's a little bit about the form, but it's more about moving.
so it's not like the warm-up exercise you do for the form?
The warm-up would be a seated warm-up,
Okay.
and we might do the form seated. I might have them stand to do a little bit of form and then sit back down. But it's
But they
geared-
don't have to necessarily know all the moves. They can follow you through it because
They
there's
follow
something-
me.
Okay.
They follow me. So I didn't want to forget that. So I've said that. Now we can take a look.
Okay.
And I won't chatter, chatter, chatter. I'll just name the moves.
All right. So let's watch the video.
So here we are with Form 1, elevator form. The first move we'll see is open the energy gates. Yang style Tai Chi. So breathing, head high, to lift the spirits. Loosen everything, soft chest, soft back, loosened waist. Usually take 2 or 3 nice deep breaths. And then move into open the energy gates. Find motion and stillness. Big breath in. Moving into flying diagonal. Separate heaven and earth. Brush knee, twist, push. Play the lute. Repulse monkey. If your mind races, if you have monkey mind, repulse monkey is to counteract that racing mind. Grass sparrow's tail. And on the other side, grass sparrow's tail. Embrace tiger, return tiger to mountain. Paint the rainbow. Single whip. Cloud hands. Single whip, kick sequence. Ram's head. Snake creeps down. Lute. Press to corner. An alternate name for press to corner is Fair Lady at the Shuttle. Needle dips into the sea. Spread the fan. Punch sequence. Punch past the left palm. And close. That is form 1, also called stationary form. Sometimes we call it elevator form.
Excellent
That's the
work.
Tai Chi salute.
So thank you so much for joining me.
I said to my students once, we call this elevator form, and I said, you know, I've never been stuck in an elevator. 10 days later, I was stuck in an elevator.
Did you
And
do
I'm not
elevator
gonna say
form?
that again. I'm not gonna say that again.
So I have two questions.
Yes.
I was trying to watch carefully. Is it it's so do you do a move on the right and then the same move on the left?
Sometimes it
Sometimes,
is a
okay.
right and a left move.
Okay.
Sometimes it's right, left, right, or left, right, left.
Okay.
So at the beginning, we saw flying diagonal. There's 3 of them. So you've got 2 rights and so if you go with upper hand, it's right, left, right. With something like grass sparrow's tail, you've got this side, and then you've
Yeah,
got this
because
side.
I
So
specifically
sometimes-
heard you say that. yeah.
Sometimes there's 2,
Two,
sometimes
okay.
there's 3 with cloud hands, 5 cloud hands. When I was learning, it's like, how many cloud hands? And I would silently go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's the last cloud hands. So,
Being someone who's like OCD, is there a reason that sometimes they're not an even amount on each side, or is it just the way the sequence flows?
it's the way the sequence flows, and I teach under the auspices of Oriental Healing Arts Association, and Gene Godrow, along with Jim Winter, were our founders. And Gene did martial arts his entire life, and when he got to a certain age, he's like, "What can I do to help the older adult?" And he put together a senior safe Tai Chi. So this is, you might go on Facebook and see Tai Chi where there's these deep, deep lunges, which I can't do, you know, but there's never a deep lunge. There's never anything that you have to be an athlete to do. If you're 50 and up and you want to do Tai Chi, then OHA, Oriental Healing Arts Association, then OHA Tai Chi, it's for you. Yeah. Did we get your questions?
You did. I just wanted to make a comment, is that, number one, I actually just watching it felt calmer. So there you go, folks. But I think that it's one of those things that people don't immediately see the benefit of because it seems too simple. When in reality, it's a process, and you're having to be in your body, and so many people, that's like really hard.
When I'm teaching, I often talk about muscle memory because I called out, you know, open the energy gates, flying diagonal. They're sometimes with a new set of students, they're like, "Do you have it written out?" And I go, "I can bring it to you," and I bring it written out, and they're like, "What?
Yeah, that's what
What's that mean? What's that mean?" And I said, you want muscle memory. You want your body to learn it. You want your body to learn it. And often when I'm asked a question, to answer the question, I have to move in order to answer the question. You know, so we do have it in a list. You know, and when I was new to this, my local teacher here is Ben Davis. I learned with him at Westminster Institute under the auspices of OHA and Westminster Cares back in 2017. And in 2018, he said that I want to teach. We're on the phone, and I very politely say yes, and I get off the phone, I'm like, "Wow, I would love to teach," you know. and I went through a process, you know, I'd worked with Ben some, but I also worked with one of our master teachers. I worked a lot with Jim Winter. And after a year or more, I was certified to teach level 1. So it's different from, there are groups out there, you go take a 3-day workshop and they say, "Here, you've done our workshop, go teach." After working with Ben for over a year, then I worked with a master teacher for over a year. And at that point, I was told, "Yes, you're certified for level 1. Well, then comes level 2. And then comes level 3, you know, little by little. So I think I'm still answering your question.
You definitely are, and
There's the mindfulness piece.
there's the mindfulness
muscle
piece,
memory
the muscle
thing.
memory, and just the fact that it's a form. It's I don't want to say exercise per se, but it's
Movement.
it's movement
form.
that really, you really learn about a lot about your body, and you learn about restrictions that maybe you didn't know you had because you're moving in
Because you're
different
paying attention. It's done quietly, and you're paying attention. I have one student, she was my student for 1.5 or 2 years, and she said, "I ride my horse differently. I feel better, and my horse does too." You know, I have another student who said, "I move around my kitchen differently." You know, there's a mindfulness piece. And another one said, "You know, it's winter, I step off a curve, and I'm thinking about my foot stepping off the curve." You know, that mindfulness piece is part of Tai Chi.
I think that's huge. That's what we lack. We
Yeah.
lack when we're just like all the
Right.
time and just,
And then
you know.
one of the things, when we were working together filming,
You did that wonderful, let me tell the viewers that the form that you watched, I have a YouTube channel that Mike set up, and he and his wife filmed me doing a series of lessons to learn the form. And so kudos to you, thank
Thank
you
you.
for that. And my
That
students
wasn't my
love it.
my
I know I
point
cut
was
you off, I cut you off, but
is
I,
that
I
one of the
wanted to do
things-
a kudos, because
Thank
we
you,
worked a
thank
long
you.
time on that.
Yeah, we did, and I think it's quite good.
And I sent it out to someone via email last week. So-
Great. But one of the things that struck me was actually the slowness of the form is, the slower you can do it, the better you can do it, it seemed like. Because it's a matter of slowness and precision, as opposed to like, just going through something like some, what are those guys, CrossFit guys that do all the exercises that they do them really bad? Never mind, that's a whole other
Oh,
show.
yeah, CrossFit,
But
ballistic
it's a whole
movement. I think you're thinking of ballistic movements
where
where
they're
there's not a
really
lot of thought. It's
fast
just
and
about
they-
fast,
yeah,
and it's
yeah.
not always in control.
But this is
and
about
it's the exact
control
opposite.
and slowness and precision, and it really makes amazing difference. And what you may look at it and say that, well, that doesn't look very difficult. It is.
What happens is we repeat it, and when that part isn't hard anymore, we go to the next part, and we keep repeating that. And when that isn't hard anymore, then we go to the next bit.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a mindfulness piece. Memorizing all 24 moves, that took me a little while to do. I had to work a lot with Ben on that. But it's pretty wonderful.
Yeah.
And during the Qigong warm-up, I have I have a time where I say, think about your feet. And I'm all the weight into one foot, now all the weight into the other. And I say, your feet have brains. The soles of your feet have brains. They want to become really good friends with the earth or the floor beneath them. You want to really have a sense of, I'm standing on the earth is holding me up, and I notice my feet.
Mm-hmm.
And as I shift the weight from one foot to the other, how does my body feel as I shift that weight? The weight goes to the other foot. How does my body feel while the weight goes from foot to foot? There's that mindfulness piece. There's a breathing piece. When I'm first teaching, I'll just say, remember to breathe. But there comes a point where you can breathe with the different moves.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this saying, when it was first said to me, I'm like, what? It's like, all Tai Chi is Qigong, but not all Qigong is Tai Chi. So master teacher says this to me, I come back and I go, Ben, what's that mean? And Ben says, well, it's kind of like all roses are flowers, but not all flowers are roses.
Mm-hmm.
And in Qigong, it's a martial art. And in Tai Chi, some of the moves are martial art moves, but they're just done very slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing about Tai Chi is it neutralizes if there was an opponent when you're doing a martial arts move, you're neutralizing the opponent or getting out of their way or getting them out of your way. So it's not to win a fight.
Mm-hmm.
It's, here's this move, and oh, they're over there, I'm fine, they're fine. Or
Yes.
so we call that application when you think about that invisible partner. So, but someone who's taken Qigong,
So we are at 1 minute.
someone who's taken
quickly.
Qigong
So-
would recognize some of the Tai
Just
Chi.
remind people again where to find you. Give them that information one more time.
So the classes happen at Westminster Institute under the auspices of Westminster Cares. You would phone 802-722-3607 for information and to, get signed up. The seated class is 12:15 on Tuesdays, and the beginner class is at 10:30 on Tuesdays.
That was Sarah.
Wonderful. It's always so much fun
It is
having
fun.
you come, and it always goes so quickly. But thank you, and
Thank
Wait a minute.
you.
good
Is
luck
it
with your
what is?
classes.
Can you teach us the bow real quick?
Take a right hand, bring it over across the heart center. That's the hard hand. My to-do list that's not going to be done in 2 days, or somebody said something mean.
Okay.
And the left hand is the water hand. It covers the hard hand. And Tai Chi, the soft, conquers the hard.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
All right, that's it.
Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty.